But we should talk about how RAF somehow every year.
Yeah. And we can talk about the different prizes this year too.
Oh yeah, we have different prizes.
We have a new prize structure and everything. That's
what are the prizes?
So
let's just go right into prizes. That's the most important part.
Oh, I know. That's exciting, right? So it's Rep Fitness.
Yes.
Is donating a Colorado barbell to the winner's gym. And so, like, if somebody from American Iron wins, it's overall reps for the whole day. Their gym gets a Colorado barbell from Rep Fitness.
What do you mean overall reps for the whole day?
So, like, the overall winner.
Yeah, so, like, how many reps you get, like, deadlifting.
For the hour, right?
No, the whole day.
So
we used to do an award. It's like one team, one, like, because our awards are little Christmas ornaments. So one team would get like overall reps, like the most reps by any team. They got like a Christmas ornament. This year instead, every hour, the team with the most reps that hour gets a Christmas ornament, and then the team with the most reps the whole day wins a Colorado barbell.
Oh, like the overall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah.
I was a little confused on that.
Sorry.
It's because every year we try to do like most reps and most weight.
Moved.
Like the most weight moved,
Yeah.
because that way, you know, okay, so if your barbell was heavier, you still have a chance of winning. It never worked out that way.
It always went to the same person. So I was like, we're going to change it up.
How many gyms have entered?
I think
Great
4
question.
in the past. There's been Stimulus, Apex Gym, and then another one that I can't remember right now.
Our
Unfortunately.
record is 5. We had South Rack show up one day, or 1 year.
Yeah. Oh, and then there is the one in Sacramento.
Untamed.
Untamed came over from SAC to compete too.
When did they come over?
That was
2021. Oh yeah, 2022, the second year.
But like we're trying to push like, hey, win your gym a brand new barbell.
Yeah.
And the Colorado bars, like if you look at all their reviews, they're comparable to the Ohio bars.
I've never even heard of that company, honestly.
Oh.
Well, I guess this is gonna be really good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you see all their stuff, you see all the reviews. They
It's a
nail it.
multi-use bar.
Well, there's several different kinds of
Yeah.
bars. You can get they're donating a multi-use bar.
Okay, so like almost like a standard power bar.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think it's mountain style knurling, center knurling for squats, but you can still deadlift with it. It's a pretty cool, like it's super last minute too. They barely signed on a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. Whenever that post went live on our Instagram, that's when they agreed to donate it.
Yeah.
That was quick.
It was very fast. So the fact that they're involved at all, like they think what we're doing here is actually fun, like in a really sadistic way. But they were like, yeah, this sounds awesome.
So how do you guys like accrue the sponsors like that? Because that seems like a big move to get.
Yeah. So it's a lot of reaching out and just like cold call emails. That's how he got Rep.
Mm-hmm. I had been like hesitant to reach out to any fitness supplier.
Yeah.
Until we had a few years under our belt. So it eventually came down to it. I reached out to a few, got responses from a couple of those, and Rep was the one that decided to move forward.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
so Rep Fitness was like, yeah, you know what? That sounds like a lot of fun. I want to be involved in that.
Yeah. And we've sent out a lot of emails and we never hear a response. It's like, okay, maybe next year.
Well, do you like specify what every part of the event, you know, charity, all that stuff?
We have a basic letter that I wrote a couple years ago that is just like a sponsor letter. In college, I also got a certificate in museum studies, and part of that was fundraising, and it was a fundraising class. And so just from that experience of being like, okay, we need a standard letter, and that is what we send to everybody, and just change the name.
So how's it changed since it started? Because I feel like the first year there was nothing.
There was okay. I think I told the story last time about like how we did this, but I love this story so much, I'm going to tell it again. There was Legion Sport Fest, and we had a car deadlift in the strongman side of Legion Sport Fest 2021. And originally, like when it was first posted, we were told that the car deadlift was going to be 2 minutes.
It's a long ass time.
That's a long time. Right? Like anything above 90 seconds, even for like, call it a 5 sandbag run, is ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
So for as many reps as you can in 2 minutes, everybody who talked about it, I think even you and I at one point, we weren't really close yet, but we had just barely met. We were like, this 2 minute thing is stupid.
Yeah. Like, this is bullshit.
This is bullshit. So we decided, we were talking amongst ourselves, like, why don't they just lock us in the gym for a day and see how many we can do? Like, this is ridiculous. And my brain went, wait a minute. What if they did lock us up for a day and we got like, I don't know, we live streamed it and we found someone to donate like $1 a rep. And I actually asked Tammy, I think it might have been in like an email or something or a text stream. I asked her, I was like, Tammy, would you let like 4 of us live in the gym for 24 hours and live stream for the charity? She goes, I can't let you there overnight. I go, so how long would you let me do it? She goes, I could give you like 4 hours. So I go, okay, so what if we did like, I did reps for an hour and you did reps for an hour. And it's like, oh, that's not really a team thing. So what if we made that the thing? Like we asked as many people as who wanted to come deadlift as your body weight for an hour. And it was like, okay, so how do you raise funds? Because not everybody, we can't do a rep or $1 a rep for everybody.
Yeah.
So originally it was like, okay, your sign up fee was go out and find your own sponsor.
That seems ridiculous.
Right. It was not a good idea in the first place.
Yeah.
And the reason I landed on that is because my chiropractor at the time thought the idea was great. And he was like, I'll be your sponsor. I was like, oh, this can't be that hard.
Yeah.
I was wrong. I was very wrong. So we toyed around, no pun intended, we toyed around with a few other ideas. And eventually we settled on your entry fee's a toy. But that was super last minute. And remember, all of this like happened 3 weeks before the event actually happened. So
Best way to do it.
yeah, so I think I kind of missed that part. Is Legions happened beginning of October, and I decided, okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this like right after Thanksgiving, and I publicized it maybe with 3 or 4 weeks before it actually happened. So this got slapped together within a 6 week span.
Yeah.
From joking about it to it actually happening was 6 weeks. So originally I had asked anybody who wanted to do it to find a sponsor for themselves in a month. And of course that couldn't happen, so we had to pivot to toys. So we did have toys that first year. Arcadius, I don't know if you remember him, he just barely moved to Colorado.
Yes, I remember.
Huge Clemson fan. He worked for Greater Commercial Lending at the time. And he walked in with Greater Commercial Lending donating, was it a pallet of toys?
Yeah.
An entire pallet of toys.
And they delivered
Jesus.
it directly to the fire department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we never saw the pallet until we
Just saw
dropped
pictures.
until we
Yeah.
dropped the toys off later that afternoon. There was a pallet of toys from that first year.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how our first year happened. It was very last minute, very shoot from the hip.
And that first year, it was only one team hour.
Yeah, so
The rest of the hours, the other 3 hours, were individual, and then we switched going forward.
we did solo the first 3 hours, like, okay, do it yourself.
Yeah.
And then that last hour was team hour. And when I tell you how fun that was, like just hearing like all the barbells bouncing around, a bunch of people like just huffing and puffing, but having a blast, like having their own themes. Did JC show up in the Jack in the Box hat that year?
No, that was the next.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Oh.
people be doing that. Like,
No, maybe he did show up in the Jack and Box hat that year, and I posted the pictures the next year.
But it was so much fun that we were like, no, we have to do teams. This has to be a team
Yeah.
event.
yeah,
And it was fun because people were bringing like their friends to come watch them too. It was like I didn't think this would be like a spectator sport, but
Oh, JC's family showed up.
yes, and
That's
it got
right.
packed in the gym.
Yeah, because JC did the last team hour that first year. And that was before he got like as strong as he is right now. JC
Yeah.
is super strong. He got himself 100 an hour, and his like 15 family members are there cheering him on. They're like, this is awesome. For an event that got slapped together in 6 weeks, I was super happy with that. So we kind of morphed it. We're like, okay, we're taking a hard stand. We're getting Shields directly involved, because after that first year, not even a week later, Shields donated $5,000.
yeah. Shields has always been really good to us, and like strongman too.
So I called up Chris. He's a good friend of mine. He's a great guy. And I was like, hey, I saw you donated this check. Can we collaborate next year? Can we, make your donation through this event? And he's like, absolutely. It sounds like a horrific event, and I won't do it myself. But like, I would absolutely have Shields be involved in that. So they've been kind of our big sponsor every single year.
Yeah,
Even if that first year wasn't official, like that, they were the first people that came over in a large way. So year two got much more organized. We decided to do some t-shirts that year. We decided to have some award, like how are we gonna, like, what do you win?
Yeah.
And she had a great idea.
Oh, because I was looking at like medals and stuff, and honestly, I was like, these trophies are really expensive. I was like, oh, it's a Christmas event. Why don't we do custom ornaments? And so since then, we've done the first 2 years we did the ornaments. It was most reps overall by a team, most weight moved overall by a team, and they were both won by the same team. So that's why we're changing it this year. And then also for the individual hours, most reps, most weight, Raph has always won it because he's a beast. He's insane.
Raph beat me that first year.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you've seen him in strongman. He doesn't give up.
Nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never seen a man be that shaky without falling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is one tenacious bastard.
Yeah.
Like,
And then last year we introduced best team name because we thought that was fun too, and that was voted on Instagram. It was the Slaberhood Watch that won last year, which was really fun.
I love our team name category.
Yes, we've got a couple good ones coming in this year too.
We have, so that would put us to a total this year of, was it 444 for all the team hours, and then 13 for the solo hour, and then 4 more for the team name. So 17 total ornaments coming up this year.
Oh, jeez.
Individual.
Yeah, because the most reps.
Oh, it's just one ornament.
Yeah, one
though.
more. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah. So there would be 17 total ornaments this year that we're trying to give out. And we want more people to have them, right? They're fun.
Yeah.
We put a decent amount of effort into them so that they look, they're great. Like, we've made our own every year so we could just keep one ourselves.
I do the design, and then I have somebody on Etsy print them and ship them to our house.
I'm excited for this year's. Because this one here always makes it an amazing design for the t-shirts, for the ornaments.
Yeah, I got to say, the t-shirt design for this year is like the best one yet.
Oh, thank you.
And that's saying something considering this is last year's.
Yeah.
I love this one. I see people wear this throughout the year. This is a Christmas t-shirt that I have seen in June. People love this thing.
Yeah, I've worn it throughout the year.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me feel good. Yeah, when we put out the poll of like vote for what theme you wanted, and I saw reindeer was winning, I was like, oh God, I don't know what I'm gonna make. And then I think I was flipping through like deer pictures, being like, what can I use? I was like, oh, okay, and that's when I came up with the design.
It looks pretty metal.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It looks sick.
If anybody listening to this hasn't seen it, if you're a surprise person, don't look at the Instagram. If you want to be surprised, it's amazing. Just wait till we actually get them.
Are you guys making extras?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Well, we'll have some for, because of course we need some for volunteers, and then if we want to sell some, because 2022's shirts were selling last year. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We had a few extras, and people who didn't make 2022 were like, no, I want that shirt.
Yeah.
So we just sold them, and all the extra money goes to the foundation, of course, right?
Yeah.
So we have, I'm pretty sure that there's a few here from last year
These ones.
Yeah, these ones, like somewhere in storage over here that we'll be putting out this year.
I feel like I've seen them.
Okay.
They're somewhere.
I know they're somewhere. We've had a very busy year, so we're gonna have to dig through and find them. But
So how much did you guys raise for the foundation last year?
$10,488.
Oh, you know it off the top of your head. I was going to pull it up.
Jesus.
$10,488.
And that's based off of total reps?
So that is sponsors donations. So I think we had like 900,000 something reps or something last year. Like obviously it's a penny per pound. Sponsors can't donate that much money. So they donate like a maximum they're comfortable with, and that's the goal for the lifters that hour.
I see.
It's like we have $5,000. You need to make how many reps?
You need to lift 500,000 pounds amongst yourselves.
Yes, and it's no problem reaching that, so that's nice. But we also had people just individually donating. Sometimes if they didn't bring a toy, they just like sent $20 to the foundation, and we're like, whatever, it's a charity event.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you're giving something is nice. And then Midnight Coffee Roasting also donated because they were selling some stuff, so Grayson donated a bit too, which was nice.
Yeah, little stocking stuffer, coffee beans, and I intend on having him back this year. I need to have that discussion with him. He's always super involved with this kind of thing. And we also actually have NutriShop showing up this year. So they're going to set up a booth in the room.
Oh, really?
Yes, and donate, I think he said a percentage of his profits or of his proceeds that day. So we have we're gonna have a very packed field house this room.
It's
This year.
it's really evolved since it started, like a
It-
lot
Yeah.
in a very short amount of time.
Yes. We're actually gonna close down the field house this year. We'll let people walk through.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
We're gonna keep the presence in the field house this year.
Yeah.
We want people to see
What's it
this
all
is-
going to? Yeah.
like see the pot because we used to have all the presents in the annex so that it didn't get too
Yeah.
busy. No, we want everybody to see the good they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, there'd be people who come in for their regular workout and they'd be like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like,
Yeah.
oh, sorry if I couldn't curse.
No, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
okay.
Have you met Jim Rat?
I don't
Like,
know. I'm not sure. But yeah, there'd be some people like trying to roll out and being like, "What is happening?"
Yeah, it does get really busy.
Yeah,
I think it's crazy.
It gets hot and sweaty and smelly.
It is kind of a spectator sport
Yeah.
because I mean, you go to like a strongman or a powerlifting event, you're there 6 hours. It gets kind of boring. But watching, your friends deadlift for an hour straight and struggling,
Oh,
Dying.
The
You're
con-
like, yeah.
the confidence that people come into this event.
see,
with.
that was my issue. That was our team's issue last year. We came in with way too much confidence. We all like collectively agreed too. We were like, yeah, we'll probably get like 1,800 reps. I think we landed at like 8,
You guys got 900 something.
and it was like, yeah, we.
I remember thinking to myself because you guys were aiming at the record, and at the time the record was like 23 something. And I remember Blake's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna smash that. We're gonna hit 2,500 reps." I was like, "Okay." And I remember very clearly, I was at the microphone, and I announced, "All right, 10 minutes have gone by," which is everybody's favorite thing to hear that
Yeah.
day. And Blake just looked at me like this, just like the tiny head shake, like, "What have I done?"
Yeah.
We came in with way too much confidence.
Mm-hmm.
But we also had it in our head that if we just did 30 reps apiece, we'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Not realizing after 3 sets of 30 reps, we would be exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe, like, you think an hour is going to go by quick.
Oh no, that is the slowest hour of your life.
And you're trying to, like, move super fast. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching all these other teams. They're like 45 minutes in, still moving at the same pace. And all of us have just kind of given up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, I'll go do 3. I'll go to 3 right now.
Yeah.
That's
do-
all I have.
I'll
The
do
chiropractor
3.
team last time was insane.
Kyle's team?
Yeah, weren't they doing like 5, 5, 5?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
They are the record holder.
Yeah. 'Cause-
2,458.
That's a lot of reps.
That is, what was it? 41 reps a minute for an hour.
I was saying we should check the tapes.
Well, how they did it is like
I
they
don't know
had
if
the
it was-
bar in the middle, and then one guy is going, and the other guy is waiting. And so as soon as he dropped it, the other guy picked it up and was going.
Like from the other side.
Yeah. And so they were face to face. Because a lot of teams, it's like, oh, you're standing at the barbell, and then you walk away, and then your team member comes up, gets set, and goes. No, they were ready, set, go. Like the barbell hardly ever stopped moving on their platform.
You did 5 reps, whether or not you were ready or not.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah, they were moving. They
Yeah.
were hustling.
Yeah.
The confidence I think everybody has going into that.
Mm-hmm. And it's self-tracked, right? Like, it's a charity event.
Yeah.
At the
Yeah.
end of the day, you can't take this too seriously. Like, maybe we should be making sure that some of these reps are locked out.
It doesn't matter.
Like, we don't want you to get halfway up the shin, and that was a deadlift. No, like, come on, don't be that guy.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, this is a charity event. You can't take it crazy seriously.
It's for fun.
Yeah, if you really want one of the ornaments that bad, we'll get you one. Like,
I mean, the entry fee is a toy.
the entry fee is a toy.
Yeah. A $20 toy.
It's a very, and that's kind of the fun thing, is it's a very low bar of entry. Like, anybody can go to a toy store and get a toy.
Yeah.
Like, we go to Toys and More over on, was it Kitskeen, Virginia?
That's
It's
where I
by
got the
Walmart.
toy last time, yeah.
Good. Yeah. They're a local business. So we really try to push like shopping at Toys and More.
Mhm, they're great. They have a huge selection of toys.
Yeah.
Yes.
So go to Toys and More, grab a toy, and come up and make yourself deadlift for an hour.
And don't drink like pre-workout or an energy drink beforehand.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Because Scotty did that last year and he got so sick.
My worst year ever.
I think I had a scoop of pre-workout and a rain,
Yeah.
and then I threw up.
Oh yeah. Multiple people were like, "Oh yeah, I drank a rain," and then it was just.
Okay,
puke.
anybody listening to this who is going to do the event this year, non super sugary pre-workout like an hour and a half before you go, I'm telling you, it does not help. It does not help. Just don't even do it.
Yeah.
But if you have to, make sure it's through your system by the time you start.
Yeah.
It's awful.
I don't do it, but
Yeah.
So you guys, oh my goodness, that was loud.
Yeah.
That was a notification on the computer. Don't know why that happened.
Little jump scare.
Where was I? You guys do more than just deadlifts before Christmas.
Well, he does.
Well, you help me all the time,
Okay,
right?
well, I guess.
Yeah, because I just can't seem to sit still. I run a few other events here throughout the year, or I'm involved in a few other events throughout the year. Last weekend we had a novice strongman contest. So for people who are in the gym a year, maybe 2 years, haven't done a contest before, but who think strongman is cool, like they want to try it, it was kind of meant for them. And the reason is some of these contests are getting very strong, very heavy.
Yeah.
Like we have Nevada's Strongest Man every July now, and that is not a show for the faint of heart. We have Battle at the Marina where you have to deadlift a car. So some of these contests can be kind of intimidating. Like I don't want to go and only complete 2 of the 5 events and feel bad. Like why did I spend $100 plus sign up or plus a membership fee for Strongman
I
Core?
know it pushes a lot of people away. Mm-hmm. I've had multiple people tell me like, I don't want to do this because I don't think I can.
I don't think I can.
And
So
It's not entry level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And over the years, because you and I have been competing for a while, we've seen it like gradually. They add 20 pounds to everything every single year.
except the overhead.
Well, the first couple years was like 220, and then it started going 240, 240.
It's been 240 for like 3 years, which is fine because it's always 240 for reps.
Yeah.
But it's still like our weight class, the 231s, has been 240 on overhead for a minute.
Yeah, it's been kind of stuck there.
Unless it was Nevada's this last year and it was bouncing back and forth between log and axle, so it was 220 axle, 230 log. That was back in, but like you have to jump implement, so it kind of made sense.
But that also is the one event that seems to just get people stuck constantly.
Mm-hmm. Overhead is hard.
Yeah.
But anyway, we were talking like, this is a really hard sport to get into. It shouldn't be. This is such a fun sport. We want more people to be able to do it. We want more people to be able to have fun with it. So I ran a novice. It didn't have a ton of people. I think we had 7 total people show up, one of which was Travis Ortmeyer's father, who was turning 78 the next day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We had a 78-year-old competitor last week. He had a blast. He had a great time.
He was making me laugh.
He almost did a 200-pound Atlas stone
Wow.
at 78.
With tacky?
I think he did have tacky, sure, but
Damn.
his son was the king of stones at one point.
Yeah.
Like, you would hope that he could do it, right?
Yeah.
Travis Ortmeyer, I believe, is the first person to ever load a 500-pound stone.
Was that true?
The very first person. Now it's like, if you can't do a 500-pound stone, what are you doing? But I think he was the first person. That's at least what he tells me. Like,
I
We're going to have to fact check with Travis.
the thing is I don't doubt it, because of when he did it, it was probably seen as kind of how the 400-kilo deadlift used to be seen. It used to be seen as like this unachievable, and now if you can't do it.
yeah.
So he probably loaded that 500-pound Atlas stone around the same time a 400 deadlift seemed insane.
That makes sense.
How much is 400 kilos?
880.
Oh,
881.
wow. Okay, wow. Yeah, that's totally been...
Oh yeah, like
Beaten.
they do that for reps nowadays in
Yeah.
some of the highest level contests. Like if you can't do 400 kilos for 3, you're not winning World's Strongest Man.
Yeah. That's warm-up weight for Mitchell Hooper.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much everything's advancing. But the thing is, it's like the top level is advancing, so they're trying to make these smaller events. They're trying to push that harder too, but it is making it a lot harder for people to join.
It's leaving the entry level people who are not in the sport yet but who want to be. It's kind of leaving them behind. That's not okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to run some version of a novice contest every year. I think we're going to run the way we're talking about it right now is we're going to run the novice open every other year, and in the off years we're going to do a masters and a teenager.
The teenager's interesting because you don't really hear much about the younger kids getting in strongman.
So there's actually a couple teenage divisions with Strongman Core. Yeah,
Really?
you can. Yeah, like my brother Nicholas. I have a stepbrother who is 14.
Well, he's technically not your stepbrother anymore, but...
Oh yeah, my long story. But he's 14 years old. I'm like, he could compete now. He could compete in strongman. My mom would never let him, but
She should. It'd be good for him,
wait till he's 16.
I guess.
But like, there are nationals for 14-year-olds.
Interesting.
And I think one of them was actually like the Nationals was just hosted in Sacramento or something, just over the mountain.
I haven't heard anything about that.
Exactly. So if we had a community here of some of the high schoolers who were like, yeah, I want to pick up heavy rocks. That looks like a shit ton of fun. And we gave them a place to do so that is, hey, we know what we're doing. We're here to help. We're going to make sure you don't get hurt. We're going to make sure we have a fun contest for you. Maybe we'll have some of these younger kids jumping in and doing it. We'll have 17-year-olds who are here loading 250-pound Atlas stones and who become those strongman athletes who decide that maybe powerlifting isn't quite for me because I want to play with sandbags.
Yeah,
I don't know who would want to play with sandbags, but, to each their own.
You got to build the next generation.
Do you think it is the barrier of entry too? Like the ability to do strongman versus the ability to do powerlifting? Because it seems like kids follow into powerlifting way more.
Well,
I mean, it's easier equipment to come by, for sure.
That is true. Well, and if you go to a powerlifting meet, there's not a set weight you need to hit.
That's true.
You can squat 130 pounds if that's all you got, and that's awesome. You get 3 white lights, and great. In strongman, we pick the weights for you.
That's a good point.
Which is also why I think it's hard for people to start doing events.
Yeah.
So that's why we had this novice contest. It's like, and I'm going to be honest, I did not have the weights picked out before the day of. I had an idea of what I wanted to do for like the deadlift event, and I'm just going to come out and say it. Anybody who did it last weekend, I'm sorry, I lied to you. I only had an idea of what I was putting on those deadlifts.
Did you wait until you saw like the competitor's skills to decide, or?
Well, I originally had a 500-pound deadlift on the 18-inch axle, and I got there day of. I was like, you know what? I don't want.
It's a terrible idea.
I don't want only 2 people to get this. That defeats the whole purpose.
Yeah.
So we pulled it all back 50 pounds, and everybody at least got 2. I believe everybody got 2 at least reps. The deadlift event was fun. We had 4 bars set up. It was an axle. It was a wagon wheel. It was a mammoth bar, and then it was a trap bar.
Is it a medley?
Yeah, so you get to do, you had to do all of the bars for time, but you could do them in any order. So if you were like, I don't know if I'm going to get the axle, so I'm going to go do the trap bar and the mammoth bar to at least get 2, you can do that.
I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, it's fun, right?
Yeah.
Like, I haven't seen that in a strongman contest where you get to pick your own adventure. Like, I thought it was fun.
Everything's always set in stone.
Yeah. And that's kind of the other side of it is if you're going to run this novice thing, it's got to be fun.
Yeah.
It has to be fun. So you're going to do a max log where you're going to find out how much you can overhead press. Then you're going to do, what do? We did the deadlift medley that I just told you about. We did an odd object carry. And I did it classically. So in the beginnings of strongman, you did not have strongman competitors. You had NFL linebackers. You had Olympic weightlifting gold medalists. You just had strong people show up, and we told you what it was day of. Like, I think the first year Bill Kazmaier won it back in 1980,
I think
1981.
he won almost every year until they stopped him
Yeah. They
They're
actually,
like, no more.
no, they actually did.
Really? Why?
because he was too good.
He
That
genuinely.
doesn't seem fair.
It wasn't.
No.
That's like kicking the Celtics out of the league because they kept winning. Like,
Right,
you
like
can't do that.
Celtics. You enough of the '60s for you. But no, they showed up one year, and this is actually how the log lift came into existence. They literally just chopped down a tree, very crudely, a bunch of angles in it and whatnot, very uneven, threw handles in it, and that's how we got the log press.
And now it's integral.
Now it's you can't have a strongman contest without at least considering the log press. But that's how it happened, and that's just how strongman contests were. You just found out what you did day of, so we kind of threw a little homage to that in this novice contest where you're doing an odd object carry. It's going to be 3 implements. I'm only going to tell you that it's a sandbag and a keg. I'm not telling you what the last one is.
What was the last one?
Duck walk.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
How do you train for that? You don't.
No. I still subscribe to the idea that any sort of strongman event, you shouldn't know what the events are until the day of.
There's a give and take on it. Like, I don't think you should not know it's a circus dumbbell.
What do you mean?
Like, if you're doing an overhead press event and it's a circus dumbbell, I believe that people should know that. Because nowadays, it's getting so heavy, it's getting so technical that if you need to bring your grip shirt,
We should bring it anyways.
You should, but if you know it's coming, it's a little better. But things like odd object carries, I agree with you. Don't tell me what it is.
Well, I think if you're already at a higher level, you should just expect whatever.
Well, that's the barrier of entry we're talking about, right?
But then you do novice, you can announce all the weights.
Right.
I'm saying at a higher level.
Well, yeah, if you're going to America's Strongest Man, for sure.
But like at a novice level, I also like that you did for the overhead, it was a max. Because that just leaves it, that's the one people fail all the time.
Yes. So we let you end up settling where you settle.
Yeah.
Like that is, I didn't want to do that for reps because like, what if you couldn't do it in the first place?
Exactly.
And you got a chance to fight for a heavier log press. So that was the third event. They did a duck walk. They learned about a duck walk day of. Fourth was a farmer's carry for distance. So,
Same weight for everybody. It's just how far you went.
So, and I felt like that was the one to do it for. That was the one, okay, everyone's getting the same weight. This is where we're going to find out, like, what is your endurance? So, it was a 50-foot run, so 50 foot down, and you could either turn around, or because it's a novice, I let you drop the weight. But if you drop the weight, you have 10 seconds to pick it up.
Fair.
Makes sense.
So you can't just sit there for 30 seconds recovering and go. No, you have to go. And just because it's novice, I let them drop it in the field twice. Usually you only get once if you even get one. But it's like, okay, this is novice. Let's let people have fun with this and let's let them push it.
Yeah.
You want them to feel encouraged too.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was a really fun event, by the way, because people would go, they'd drop, they'd turn around, and you could tell when that fatigue started to kick in. And right as that started to happen, people started to go nuts for each other. Like, no, grab that bar, like, get 20 more feet, get to the end, blah, just whatever they wanted to say. But that's where you really started to see people encourage each other. It's like, no, get that last lap, get that last 20 feet, get the last 10 feet to the end of the lap. Like, that was fun. And I think that's really where that camaraderie started to kind of kick in for everybody. And that's where the fun of a strongman contest really was shown to them.
Yeah. Because that's something I like about strength sports that you've introduced me to. It's an individual sport, but there's so much support from the crowd. And there's so much like having fun and believing in each other.
Was our first contest against each other Legion?
Did you do Battle at the Marina?
I don't think at the same time you did.
Because I did that like 3 years. I did it for like 3 years before that Legion. Like in a row.
And this is my first battle at the Marina in years. This last year.
So it was probably that, it probably was that year then.
So we hadn't really met yet.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing you on the American Iron Instagram. I did not know who you were. So I referred to you, like when we would talk, like how training's going. It's like, yeah, strongman rival did good today, and I got to get better.
Oh, that's him?
That's him.
Oh my God. Okay.
So the strongman, like I just referred to you as the rival. I did not know your name. I was like, I got to meet this guy one day. I'm sure he's a great dude, and you are. But at the time, I was like, I just got to do better than him.
It was very much so a one-sided like in your head.
It was.
Well, here's the
definitely in my
thing. I was kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I was like studying your Instagram.
And you won. You took third. I took fourth that year, and it was only because of the overhead.
Took second.
Did
Yeah,
you
you've
take
done a
second?
lot of
I
work.
tied for first.
Is that what it
initially.
was?
Yeah.
I
and
think it was like if I had gotten one rep on the log, I would have won. It was something like that. It was very close.
it was super close.
And then we had like a rematch at Wrath the next year.
Yeah, and I bombed.
So I think we're tied. I'm trying to bring you back to strong.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've competed.
I'm trying to like right now convince you to do it. But that's it. Like we're sitting here talking like stalking each other, but when it came to that Legion's Day, were we not the number one people in each other's faces?
Yeah, because I remember the car deadlift.
Oh yeah, you wanted to quit because of your ankle.
What year was that?
21.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think I won that event.
You
17 reps.
You did. You beat me by like 1 or 2, and I was next to you like, no, do not quit.
Yeah.
I was like, I want you to beat me.
I finally gave out when the strap gave out. Mm-hmm. And then that was it. But yeah, I remember you being next to me and like yelling at me.
So like, even though I called you rival and like, we didn't know each other that well, I still wanted you to do absolutely everything. I still wanted to see your 100% because I knew that would mean a lot to you.
I think that's definitely the fun part.
Yeah.
Of like doing strongman.
And that's why I do it.
Is you the community. I don't think I've ever gone to a strongman event where there wasn't like a ton of camaraderie.
Mm-hmm. And that's why that novice contest was awesome, because you saw it happen on that farmers event. Like, of course, everybody was cheering each other on, like during the deadlift, during the odd object carry. But when it came to digging deep to get those extra 10 feet, that extra lap, that's where it really clicked. And it really clicked right before the last event of the day, which was a max Atlas stone. So we went outside, everybody got their tacky on, and it was, okay, we're going to throw out the lightest stone. If you want it, take it. You get unlimited attempts. If you fail, you're out. And there was a few people who like dropped the stone the first few times, or really starting to get discouraged. And then because everybody got behind them, some of them actually got it.
Yeah.
Like, I remember someone was struggling with the 180 stone and was like, I don't know if I'm going to get it. And we were like, no, you're almost there, dude. And you really started to see some of these people like, no, I want you to get it. I really want you to get it.
I think it's very interesting how quickly that happens too. Because 7 people?
7 total people.
Nobody really knew each other.
There was a father and a son, but outside of that,
No, yeah. And how quickly everyone just kind of like became friends.
You're a perfect stranger, and I want you to succeed.
That's what's really cool about just strongman events in general, is like you'll quickly realize no one wants to see you fail. Everyone wants everybody to do good, and how quickly everybody's working with each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens in powerlifting, but specifically strongman, it feels different. Because, I mean, a lot of times you can just kind of get up in their face while they're doing the event, like with us.
Oh, yeah.
And having that support system of, like, I don't even know these people, but they're cheering for me, like, makes a big difference. And it's, like, way more personable.
Yeah.
I think strongman is definitely a way more personable sport.
I mean, shoot, look at the friendship you and I have. And if we started as rivals.
Yeah.
Like, that's just an ode to it, right?
Exactly. It was just stalking Instagrams.
And then now we're, even though we don't really train at the same time anymore, I still see you benching a bench shirt, and there's just a small part of me that's like, I want you to bench 7. I really want you to hit 700 in that bench shirt.
Eventually.
Yeah. Like, I really want you to do it. And we don't even train together all that much, but
7 would be crazy.
No, it's crazy. You kind of just build friendships. I mean, there's people that I've competed with that I don't talk to and I only see at events. And it's like it's back to being normal, back to being like good friends every single time.
Like Eddie Digoli out in Sacramento at Untamed Strength. Every time he and I compete against each other, it's like we saw each other the previous day.
I had a friend who came for the last year's Battle at the Marina.
Okay.
I hadn't seen him in probably 6 or 7 years. And it was like nothing changed.
Yeah.
It was like just the same old thing, and he was competing. And it was like that's kind of why the sport's awesome. It's just that closeness everybody has, and how quickly that builds.
And you want to bring as many people into it as you can.
Yeah.
So that's why we're doing the novice. We're gonna do a different version of the novice every year, but I want more people to understand just how awesome this is. This is awesome.
And why there really shouldn't be a fear going into it.
Right. So I'm hoping that 1 or 2 of these people that did the novice want to do Battle at the Marina. And then they can see, because again, this is 7 people. Battle at the Marina is going to be more than that.
Yeah.
So see, like, it's not just the 7 people that hadn't done one before and were like super encouraging to each other. It's like, no, seasoned people who are doing this will still do that. And then we'll bring them into the community and they'll understand, like, no, this is everybody. This isn't just the people you met that day. This is how the strongman community is. Like, we want you to be a part of it. We want to, I don't know, both be able to lift the same heavy rock, but maybe they want me to do it one more time than they did. Like, we want to encourage people. We want more people to be involved in this because we want to share how awesome this is with you.
And you want people to be at your best because that makes the competition feel like legit and fun and you're grinding for it,
Like Nevada's Strongest Man this last year.
Yeah, that was pretty close.
That 231 class, dude, was a dogfight.
How many people were in there?
7.
That's a lot for that class.
I think it was like 8 people were signed up and someone didn't show.
Okay.
I don't remember if because there were 7 of us there and 1 guy didn't show. That was a dogfight. Like, so the overhead press, it was what it was. I ended up taking 4th on that event. but like first only got one more rep or something, or two more reps or something. So it was like, okay, obviously the good overhead presses are here. From that event on was like a 3 or 4 person race. Like, who is going to win the farmers? Like, and no one really knew. I was convinced Eddie was going to win it, and then he dropped 320 halfway through. And you know Eddie.
Yeah.
He's, for those that don't know, Eddie Digoli out at Untamed Strength in Sacramento is knocking on the door of an 8-plate deadlift.
Didn't he get the silver dollar deadlift record?
He owns the silver dollar deadlift, I think, world record for the 231s at something 1,025 pounds.
That's ridiculous.
Jeez,
He's held I have a video of it. He has 1,000 pounds in his hand.
that's crazy.
Yeah, just think about it. It's almost a 5 times body weight in your hand. You'd snap in half. But I was convinced he was going to win the farmers, and just because of the farmer handles, those titans that like to rotate amongst themselves, it just ripped out of his hand. And then Cameron was also here from Southern California. He wore the duck shorts. He got to like the finish line and dropped it. But his hip just didn't let him get the extra 2 feet that he needed. It was like people fought for 320 per hand. And I was prepared to go. I was like, okay, to win this event, we're going to have to do 360. Who's going to do it?
Weren't they your farmer's handles?
Yeah, we ended up using mine, but they were going to use Titans anyway, because they were going to use Stevens. I have the same ones. Mine were newer.
Oh, right.
So the knurling was better, so it was better for all the competitors.
Yeah.
We warmed up on Stevens. We used mine.
Nice.
Which ended up working out great. And then it was that deadlift event. I mean, anybody who knows Eddie knew he was winning that deadlift for reps event.
Yeah.
I ended up only 2 reps behind him, 2 or 3 reps behind him. What is the odd object carry?
Oh, with the fridge?
Yeah, so they didn't tell us, again, what the objects were.
You had the strap for that, though.
With a tire?
Yeah.
That was not my idea.
But I didn't see anybody else do it until you started doing it.
There was a couple people in the first hour.
Oh, okay.
Like before we
The
went.
strap for the tire?
Yeah. So the objects were a mini fridge loaded with medicine balls and weight plates.
The thing,
Yeah.
Which was
dangerous.
I love it.
I had to catch it. It kept getting thrown into me.
I hope they do that every year. I want you to know. I hope they come up with just the weird. I want to carry a fire hydrant next year. I want to see the weirdest things.
I think that's cool, though, having stuff like that.
Yes. Don't tell me what it is. It's going to make me anxious, and I'm going to ask Carly and Tawny to tell me what it is every time I see them, but don't tell me. But that mini fridge, they had a circus dumbbell loaded to 200 pounds.
That was really weird.
Well, dropping that was scary because it would bounce.
Yeah.
And then the last one was a tire. They expected you to put the tire on your shoulder. But I laid it down and stood inside of it and carried like this.
And it worked perfectly.
Oh, nice.
That was not even my original idea on that day, but that's actually an Eddie Hall move.
Oh, really?
Yes. From 2015, 2016 World's Strongest Man or
I
something.
feel like I remember that now.
Yeah, it was like in sand. It's not the most efficient way to like run with it, but it's the least taxing.
Yeah.
It's better than being weighted on one side.
Especially, it was like a 200 something pound tire, 300 pound tire.
I mean, once you got a good grip, you were hustling.
And the thing is they didn't tell us not to do it. That's the beauty of strongman. They just tell you need to get this from there to there, and if they don't say it in the rules briefing, you're good.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best part. Is like you shouldn't worry too much about the rules.
Don't ask questions.
Yeah.
Ask a question like, okay, like, are you going to give me an up command? Sure. Like, how? Like, are you going to say it? Or are you going to give me a visual? But if they don't tell you how to carry an object, don't ask.
Just do it.
Just do it. Because if you do it, now everybody can do it, and that was their fault for not saying something.
It's like that story Travis told me before about like one of the strongmen putting oil on his hands before a deadlift.
Why?
So he can get the reps, and then everybody else had to touch it. Or he put oil on his legs instead of baby powder. So when he was done, it got all over the bar, and so all the other competitors couldn't grip it.
That's fucked.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That is genius.
That is underhanded, but damn, that's clever.
That's why there's rules. That's why usually if there's a rule in strongman that's like arbitrary like that, it's because somebody did it.
Someone did it. And then the last event was Atlas Stones. So I lost. I won the farmers. I lost to only Eddie on the deadlift. I actually tied for second with Cam. Joey Keeley beat me on the odd object carry, so I took second there. He beat me by like, was it 4/10 of a second? That was awesome. And it's just because I misgrabbed the fridge. And then I ended up, I think, taking second place on the Atlas stones. I only won one event that day, but it was just such a back and forth between this event was good for Joey, but the next one wasn't. That was a dogfight, and I love it. And at not one point did I feel like anybody wanted anybody to fail.
That's usually how it is, though. It's like, and that's the best part.
I think Eddie went right before me on the stones, and he's still catching his breath, dying, right? But he's next to me in the video. He's cheering me on the whole time. He's like the loudest person in my ear because he knew I wanted more than the year prior, where I only got 3 reps on that 300. I wanted 4. I was going for 5, and I almost got it. Caught my damn t-shirt.
Oh, that stupid shirt that ripped to hell.
Yeah. But he still, like, he was there in my ear. Like, you're getting that 4th one. You're going to get that 4th one. I don't care if you want to or not. You're getting it. And I did. And I wasn't there for the little celebration after the fact. I came back too a few seconds later, but it was awesome.
When you go into an event like that, how do you approach it? Like mentally?
Like the contest or like in any individual event?
We'll say like an individual event that you know that you need. Because you can go into a contest with a specific idea, but it's usually the switch doesn't flip until you get to that particular moment.
Right. I've tried a few different ways over the years. I've been doing this for 11 years. I've been lifting 11 years now. I've tried getting way too angry. I've tried, going at it calm. I've kind of learned that I need to get my stuff ready, so I need to get my tacky on. And then I just need to hang out. So I was, you and I were talking about, you were getting your camera set up, and I was talking to Eddie about, how was the drive over or whatever. And then when it's my turn, I get excited. Like, okay, I don't have to be angry about this. I'm not angry about anything. I get to do this. This is fun. So I get super into it. I get super obnoxious. I'm going to be honest. If someone's annoyed by how I lift at a certain event, like, sorry, I'm having a blast.
I mean, that's not your problem.
Right. Like I don't.
Well, you also love to get the crowd going.
I do.
Yeah.
And I love it when people get loud. I really do. So I think about it like, I get to do this. I get to have fun. It's my turn. And I get a minute to be as into it as I want to. And that's kind of how I go about it. It's like, okay, now it's my minute to do the Atlas Stone. It's my minute to do the deadlift.
Interesting.
And I'm going to have a fucking blast with it.
Do you kind of feed off of everybody else's energy, like the crowd?
Absolutely.
Oh, God, yeah, he does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That deadlift event, so it was a regular bar, and then a trap bar, and then a deadlift bar with the mammoth attachment. So it was a noodle bar.
Yeah.
500, 525, 545. And let me tell you, I wanted to stop like 2 or 3 reps before I did on that noodle bar. It's like, nope, I'm pretty sure I got it. Even 3rd place, I still have a good chance of winning the overall. But that place was loud. I couldn't hear myself. I actually got one of my reps disqualified because I could not hear Carly.
I think I was the one counting your reps.
Yeah, and Carly told you to like take one away because I jumped an up command.
Yeah.
Because I could not hear. It was the 3rd rep on that noodle bar. I couldn't hear her. And that was that was like, no, we're gonna do this. We're not gonna catch Eddie, but we're gonna try.
Yeah.
And I still got within a couple. I absolutely do feed off that. So when if it's my turn, it's my moment. It's like, no, I'm gonna lean into it. Everyone's gonna yell at me, and I'm going to showboat.
Yeah. Well, and he'll tell the crowd, like, I can't hear you. He'll, like, gesture to them to get louder, that kind of stuff.
It's supposed to be fun, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. LeBron James does his chalk thing every game, and people get into it.
You
so
do whiskey shots.
I do. The last 2 contests, I hope nobody gets me in trouble for this, but I had brought rum.
I mean, people do the whiskey before deadlifts and stuff like that.
As soon as I was done with the Atlas Stones, I was taking a beer, like, immediately.
I see that a lot in strongman.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mitchell Hooper said, like, a beer is good for you to, like, help you relax.
It's a little more nuanced. Mitchell
Yeah.
Hooper actually has a beer or two the night before a contest sometimes. He acknowledges the fact that it's bad for you, but if you can relax more and feel better, like socially, like just kind of relax and be among your friends, and that recharges you more than the beer will damage your lifting, it's an overall net positive.
I see. That makes sense.
Right.
I guess that's why it also works for you, that you like feed off of the energy.
Yeah, you have to find what's right for you.
Because some people, they get angry, they get whatever they need.
Mm-hmm.
But feeding off of like being able to go into it almost relaxed
Mm-hmm.
is like a different strategy.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to I'm feeding off my friends wanting to see me succeed.
And that's why the camaraderie,
Yes,
it goes back to that.
yes, and that's what strongman is to me. Strongman to me is camaraderie above all else. Let me hear you, want me to succeed, and I will be even louder for you. Because I want to see you. You think you can only do 8 reps on this? I'm going to force you to do 10. And you will thank me after.
That's the fun part. Everyone always thinks that you see that point where people get to where they're like, you can see that they want to quit.
Mm-hmm. And it's all here.
Yeah. And then they go for that next rep.
And then they get it, and then they feel like a superhuman.
And then they'll typically go for that next rep.
Mm-hmm.
People want to quit 2 to 3 reps before they're really giving out.
Yeah.
As a rule of thumb, it's always 2.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
mentally hard.
Well, yeah. She's like, okay, I did 8 in training. I did 10. I think I can do 10 contest day. And you got 10 seconds left, and you're at 10. I want you to yell at me. You're getting 12.
And you know that your friends will be there to catch you when you're done, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
if you're getting to your absolute limit and you're about to fall, people will be there to catch you and get your bell off.
Mm-hmm. Like that okay, so that day that I deadlifted 700, I'm gonna plug myself here. I had been chasing 700 for 11 years. When I first hit a 4-plate deadlift my junior year of college, I told myself one day I am deadlifting 700 pounds. I don't care if it's 3 years from now or 20 years from now. I'm deadlifting 700. So after Nevada Strongest Man, I was like, okay, I'm going to take a real run at it. I hit 300 kilos, so 661 in February. I'm close enough where I have enough time before my next contest. I'm going to go for it. So I've been doing 3 sets of 8. I'm really hammering myself. And then I finally get to my peaking block. And I was like, okay, it's going to be a 4 or 5 week peak. And at the last day, I'm going to hit 700 pounds. There was no if. So every week something would happen. I'd hit 600 for 3 or 5 sets of triples. And I was like, that was easy. We're moving somewhere. Then I would do 4 or 640 for 4 doubles. And it's like, okay, like I'm trying not to get excited, but here we go. And then the week before peak week comes, and I'm like, it was 3 singles. So it's the last week of building up. And the first rep of the day was supposed to be a PR. So my very first set was supposed to be a weight I had never even attempted. It was 7 plates. It was 675. And it flew. And now the younger crew that's here, like Ollie and Owen were there. And they were, of course, just super supportive. And they were like, you got to go for it. You got to go for it. I was like, no. Stick to the program. Stick to the program. But I will throw on 680, right? Let's have a little bit of fun as a treat.
As a treat.
680 flew. And I was like, damn it. It's today, isn't it? And I wanted to have a couple pictures of me pulling 700 because that's what I said I'll put on the wall. I'll put 700 in my hands on the wall here. For everybody listening, I'm still not on the wall because I still didn't feel like I had done something to deserve being up there.
I don't even know how you get on the wall.
You bring your own photo.
I think there's more to it than that.
Is there?
I think.
That's all I've ever been told. I've been here almost 10 years, and I've been told all you have to do is bring your own photo.
I have no
Anyways.
idea. I'm not on the wall, so.
So think about it. I've been here almost 10 years, and I still didn't feel like I did something worth it. Because 700 has always been, that will be the day. So I call her as like, can you get here with your camera? So this is kind of leaning into, this is going to be my moment. Like, I'm just going to take it. The whole gym's there. Blake let me adjust the music for just me. And let me tell you, that was like the loudest I've heard that room in maybe 5 years. That powerlifting room. Even though I really wasn't there to hear it. It definitely blacked out. That was awesome. And sometimes just that camaraderie pushes you to do more than you were ready to do. Like, okay, I wasn't ready for 700 that day, but I had it. My friends knew it, and they were going to make me do it. That kind of ties back to our
You
original point
even
there.
you
Like,
even tried talking yourself out of it a couple times. You're like, your camera's not charged. It's like, no, it's charged. SD card's cleared.
and it's like,
Yeah.
Owen had his camera there too. Like,
Yeah.
everything was lining up just a little too perfect.
Yeah.
People were there. Like, it was, I think the last week that Blake's clients were there training before their contest. It was like, even Egan was trying to tip, like, if it's on the program, you shouldn't do it, but you're looking great today. It's like, damn it.
It's funny because I don't want to use the word pressure, but it is pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Having all that pressure on you from your friends,
Mm-hmm.
I think definitely adds. It will add weight to whatever you're doing.
Well, because they knew I had it. They knew I could do it. I didn't. They knew I could, and they made me do it, and I'm super happy about it. So anybody who was there, like, thank you. That was amazing. It was a once in a lifetime experience. Like,
And you weren't there because you immediately blacked out.
mm-hmm. It's funny. I let out like 11 years of frustration against the deadlift, screaming after the fact. I blacked out and I came back screaming.
Yeah.
It's really, you watch the video, I kind of pass out. People are like, oh, he was fine. He didn't. No, I was not there. And then I came back and I was like letting it out still. It's kind of really funny in the replay, but Blake was there to catch me. People ran over to take my belt off, even though I really was not there. Still pulled 7.
That's huge.
Yep.
What's your next goal? Or are you just done?
Win Winter Warrior in January. And then right afterwards, I have nothing really that I'm aiming at that's like super pressing because I want to go to Strongman Core Nationals next year. So I want to win Winter Warrior, qualify, and then take the following 8-ish months to prep for it. So I go and do a good show. I think in February, I'm going to try to peak that deadlift again. I only want to do it once or twice a year, but I'm going to go for 750.
It's huge.
Well, I told everybody I'm going to be happy with 700 for like a week.
Well, I mean, that's what always happens. You get your big PR and then
Yeah. The next week he's talking about like what the deadlift record in his weight class is.
It's like-
He's like, the
it's like-
deadlift record in my weight class is only a little over 900. I was like, well,
Yeah, you got to set goals, right?
yeah. But next you really want to do the Husafel.
Yep, we have plans. Not, I don't think in 2025, but maybe as early as 26 to go to Iceland. I want to go do the Husafell. So anybody who doesn't know, the Husafell stone lives in Iceland. It's about 410 pounds. It is the door to a sheep pen for Reverend Husafell from back in the day. I think it was 400 something years ago, 300, 400 years ago. And the challenge is you carry the shield around the sheep pen. It's about 160 feet one lap.
Jesus.
So I want to go do some of these like historical stone challenges within the next 5 years. Denny stones,
McGlashan.
the McGlashan stones.
What is that one?
The McGlashan stones in, I want to say it's Scotland, are what we base the Atlas stones off of.
Oh, okay.
So they're big round-ish
Yeah.
stones that were actually used in World's Strongest Man before Atlas stones. So we end up having these perfect spheres, which you can have tachyon over, but the McGlashan stones are the basis.
That makes sense.
Same with the Inver stones that they just had at the Rogue Invitational. Similar style, where it's like natural stones that are round-ish but not quite spherical. No tacky.
Yeah. I feel like you could do a whole podcast episode just talking about like the history of strongman sports.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you did used to do all the videos.
Those were very intensive. Like, there's a lot of research that went into them. And then we went to Europe for a month, kind of as like a life goal vacation. I haven't picked it back up yet. If I were to, I would go into the history of the circus dumbbell, but that's a 3-parter.
Should just do a full YouTube video.
Yeah. If I can ever find the time to do anything between all these events that we run.
What's your plans for the next events besides the novice?
So we have the Deadlifts before Christmas, obviously. So we'll start talking about the next novice. I want to try to run it around the same time of year, late October next year, maybe, which would be in the middle of
Like post Legion, kind of.
Yeah. So like hopefully some, in an ideal situation, we have some high schoolers that come to Legion, see the strongman thing, and want to try it themselves, and then they have 6 weeks to get ready.
That makes sense.
In an ideal situation. Um, I actually have a phone call later today with Ronnie from the Fresno area. He is the coach for the Fresno State powerlifting team. We are going to be growing our Western University Cup.
Well, it seems to already be kind of growing.
It was amazing. That was pretty much everything I could have asked for 2 colleges showing up. We had it was UNR versus Fresno, and it worked. It shaked out perfectly. There was 11 weight classes represented. 3 from Fresno, 3 from Reno were the only lifters. So we had 5 weight classes that had both schools. And it was like, okay, we're going to determine a winner based on who wins the most weight classes. It was 11, so there couldn't be a tie. And even if there was a tie in one weight class, the body weight's the tiebreaker. So it was truly, we will have a winner today. UNR ends up taking the inaugural by winning 7 weight classes to 4, but it was a lot closer than that. Mm-hmm. I think if Fresno had 2 more lifts successful, they would have won. It was seriously a dead heat most of the day. But just kind of going back to this camaraderie thing that we keep coming back to, we had Fresno State kids doing UNR chants and vice versa by the end of the day. Like we had, UNR kids doing like their like not their howling chant, but the dog bark chant that Fresno likes to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had them learning how to do that by the time we got to deadlifts. So it was amazing. Like you guys are going head to head for your schools right now, and you're still cheering each other on. So we're trying to grow that. We're trying to host it in Fresno next year. We're not quite settled on a date yet because we need to make sure it doesn't conflict with Legions. We are hoping to have at least 6 schools represented. So UNR and Fresno, obviously.
That would be a big change, is having more schools.
Yes, and we would end up having to follow IPF rules, where if you win your weight class, you get 12 points. Second place takes 9 points, and then it's subtract 1 point all the way down. And then your school's best 5 athletes total your points.
Okay.
So if UNR has 2 first place finishes and 3 second place finishes, you get 12, 12, 9, 9, 9, which is 18, so 42 total points. Is that right? 40? No, that's not right.
It'd be 51.
I'm not the right person to ask.
24 plus...
No, it'd be 50. No, it'd be 60. I can't do math.
I should be able to do this. You're right, 51. It should be.
Is it 51?
Yeah, it should be 51 points because you're leaving 9 points on the table out of 60. So
Okay.
yeah, 51 total points is how you would be scored, and then you compare all the schools. So we're hoping that a couple of the participating schools are ones that almost joined this year. So Hawaii was this close to coming this year. So I was actually just talking with the coach for University of Hawaii. He was actually here on Thursday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his parents lived up in Tahoe. He's moving them out, so I actually got to train with Alex. Great guy, super fun, really strong squatter. He knows how to control a barbell on his squats. That was awesome to see in person. He's going to do his best to get at least 3 athletes from the University of Hawaii up. I told him that if he gets 5, they have their best chance of winning. Berkeley is most likely happening.
Is Berkeley in Southern California?
I don't think Berkeley's Southern California, are they?
I have no idea, honestly.
I'm really bad with this is going to be hilarious to you. I'm really bad with California geography.
Yeah, I feel like NorCal goes all the way down to LA.
I know Fresno's more central. So like they're south of Sacramento, so they're kind of like central California. I think we're going to talk to like UC Davis, and I would like to talk to UCLA because it sounds like Hawaii's biggest rival is UCLA.
Really?
Yeah. They're the closest school.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
So we're going to try to talk to those schools. There's a few others that we're interested in talking to. We're going to set a limit on schools, probably with our phone call later today, Ronnie and I. Because Fresno can only host so many athletes.
Yeah.
We can't have a 400-person contest right now. We just don't have the resources for this. But if we get 120, we can have 8 schools. If Hawaii takes 5 spots, we can host the other 115 spots amongst 7 schools, and everybody can have 1 person per weight class, just about.
That's huge.
That would be big.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of schools. That's a lot of growth in a very short amount of time. So we're gonna have that discussion, and I'm also gonna try to plan to grow this and have like a Pacific Northwest version of this. I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet. I don't know what schools I want. I don't know who I'm gonna talk to, but we're gonna be exploring implementing this structure, this University Cup structure, regionally throughout the country over the next 5 years.
Jeez, you got big plans.
Yeah,
Always.
I bet you actually that is probably Ronnie calling me. Nope, it is not Ronnie calling me. That would be really funny if like he called me right there of all
Yeah.
times.
His ears were burning.
It's like I feel like he needs to talk to me. No, Ronnie's great. Ronnie's super excited to do this. He's super excited for Fresno to host this. He can't wait for this to happen next year because this was a blast.
The students were even posting about it afterwards, like on the team Instagram pages. Like they were posting about like had so much fun, like it was so nice
It
to
seemed
be
like
Fresno.
everyone had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it was
And then didn't some Fresno kids like support a Nevada game or something? Or there was something like that.
The University of Nevada Reno's powerlifting team ended up posting when Fresno and UNR played each other in football.
Yeah.
Because Fresno won that football game. So the UNR team tagged the Fresno team, says, Fresno got their payback through football.
Yeah.
So now
that's what it
these
was.
two teams who did not know each other before this event are starting to be like friendly outside of the contest with each other,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
which is exactly what we want, right? We want these powerlifters to know, like, hey, you have a friend in Fresno.
Yeah.
Or, hey, Fresno kids, you have friends in Reno. So we're hoping to grow that. We're hoping that this camaraderie we can bring to the Pacific Northwest and like, look, we want to do this for you. We want Oregon, Idaho, and Washington, possibly Montana. Like, we want to host an event like this for you. You see what we're doing down here in the South. Let us do it for you and help us grow it up here. Long term, I want this to kind of be, I hate to use the word leverage, but I want them to be able to go to the universities and say, hey, I want the university to sponsor some of these athletes with scholarships.
Yeah, some schools do that, but I
Mhm.
think it definitely needs to expand more.
Right.
It's a legitimate sport.
Yeah.
And a lot of these kids don't have the same opportunity to go to school for, football or whatever it is.
Mhm.
And or they don't mesh well with a team. This is an individual thing that you work with a team with.
Right.
And so having that opportunity would be huge.
And I'm hoping to turn this into something. And when I originally had this idea, we had this idea at University Nationals, and I remember sitting and hearing, like, how do we grow certain parts of the sport? And for some reason, I think I had just talked to my dad. Like, UNR and UNLV had just played in basketball or something. My dad's a UNLV alumni. I'm a UNR alumni. And I was like, there's nothing quite as uniquely motivating as spite for a rival.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want UNR to be like, we'll give you scholarships because we want you to beat UNLV.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We want you to beat UNLV at powerlifting too. So we want to kind of, we want it to become one of the Silver State battle. I don't remember the name of it at this point. The rivalry between UNR and UNLV. We want Hawaii and UCLA to be like, no, we're gonna beat each other's ass at powerlifting too. We want to go even further. We want Michigan and Ohio State to go head to head and be like, no, we're gonna throw money behind powerlifting because we want to beat Michigan. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that the main benefactor of this would be the students.
Yeah.
They get scholarships that will help get them through school, and they have an outlet in lifting to help kind of keep them regulated, give them something outside of school to do.
I think it's wildly important.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like you really push stuff for like the younger generation.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of what drives you?
Oh, younger people become older people, right?
Yeah.
It is really hard to get people who are call it 45, 50 years old. Like, hey, I want to introduce you to a brand new sport. I want to add something new to your life, right? which some people want to do that. Some people need to change. But when you get to that age, you like, I have teenagers. I need to raise. I have bills I need to pay. I have yard work that I need to do. It's hard to really establish something new the older you get. And I find that too nowadays. Like, I need to do yard work. I really do. But it's hard to get to, right?
That's
It's
why you
hard.
just make it dirt. That's what I do.
Yeah,
But
right.
dirt grows weeds. Like,
And weeds are just greenery that you could ignore.
Until you get those little stickers, little sharp things.
The goat heads.
Yeah, the goat heads.
or you get a letter from the city saying your weeds are too tall.
Had that happen once.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
It was by somebody down the street who was trying to sell their house. I'm 95% sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, like if you establish that when they're younger, it doesn't seem so intimidating, right?
It's
So
fun.
yeah,
It's not another thing to add. It's not a chore. It's not something you have to do. It is something that you are enjoying. It's fun and it stays fun.
yeah. So if you have some of these younger kids, these high schoolers getting into strongman, or these college students who see the camaraderie in powerlifting, it stays with them and they stay with it.
Yeah.
So and again, who's going to tell me that going to the gym is unhealthy? Who's going to say it's a bad thing, right? It keeps them in the gym. It keeps them healthy. It keeps them around people who like the same thing as them, which is something important to have as you go throughout life, right? People around you that have similar interests. And that's just important. And if they can have something like that from a young age, even if they don't stay with it, even if I'm done with lifting by the age of 40, I still had my 20s and 30s with people who had the same goal as me, just to get strong as they can, who supported me through everything. So that's kind of why I'm like, I wish I had a bigger base lift of that when I was younger, because I still had it, but I still always found myself wanting a little more of it, a little more of that camaraderie, a little bit more of that support. And if I don't do it, I can't guarantee that anybody else is going to do it for them. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to at least form the team or form the support base that will help me do it. Like, if you don't do something yourself, you can't guarantee it's going to get done.
Yeah.
I think it also really helps for younger kids with building their confidence.
Yes.
It's like being like, damn, I went out and lifted 300 pounds. It's like, I grinded, I did the work, I can do this. And that'll carry over to other things in their life. It's like, I can study hard in school. I can achieve hard things. Yeah.
It's definitely something that they can like see the progress in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a huge thing. It's building good habits. It's building the confidence. It's setting them on a path for success later on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And I think having, especially the camaraderie aspect of just having that support system behind. I look back to like when I was younger. I wish I found lifting sooner. I probably wouldn't have made all the dumb mistakes I made.
And that's kind of it, right? Like, you hear so many people like, damn, I wish I was doing this since I was a teenager. I'm one of them. I had been in and out of the gym, but I didn't know what I was doing until I was almost 21. Like, I didn't start lifting heavy until I was, what was it? September of the year I was 20, so that'd be 2013. That was my first time that was the first time I deadlifted.
I think probably this is similar for me.
Mm-hmm.
Around that same time.
And do you want to know who got me into powerlifting? This is going to be a deep cut for anybody who's been at American Iron for a long time. Jason Lum.
Sounds familiar.
Mm-hmm. He moved to Oregon a few years ago. If you're listening, Jason, we miss you. Come back and visit us, please. But no, I remember specifically, I asked him for a spot on bench press one day, and he told me about the sport of powerlifting. And I think American Iron had just started thinking about hosting one in May. And I was like, nah, I want to do that. So I went to go deadlift for the first time. I had no idea what I was doing. I was lifting in running shoes, which is a terrible idea.
Oh, yeah.
But because of, I kind of wish I had that in high school. Like, I kind of wish I had the weight room, learning how to squat and deadlift when I was 16.
Well, we went to a weird high school.
We did go to
We were
a weird
not
high school.
gonna
We met in high school. We have not been dating since high school, but we met in high school, down in Las Vegas. But yeah, it's cool to give that to people. It's cool to do things for people that you wish were done for you.
Yeah.
So that's why we do it.
Why you mainly do it.
You help me with a lot of things.
I help you with graphics and stuff.
Well, you help me with graphics. You help make sure that anything I put out there makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair. Copywriting.
Like, well, yeah, copyright and, make sure I'm getting the right message out there.
Yeah.
I
Which
mean,
can be hard.
I have a lot of high flying ideas, and she helps me make them possible.
What do you mean by get the right message out there? Like verbiage and stuff like that?
Basically, yeah, that kind of stuff. It's like, you want to read something and make sure it makes sense to everybody. Because when you're conceptualizing a post in your head, you know all the background information and you know everything else. And maybe what you're putting out, like you're missing information. And it's like somebody reading it is going to be like, but what about this? What about this? What about this? And so you need to make sure like that's all in the post or it's all in the graphic and it's easily accessible information. For an example, like one of my clients is a sports bar and you can say like, hey, come to our happy hour. And somebody will be like, well, when's your happy hour? You should have that in the post. Yeah.
So putting out the proper message.
Yeah.
So if I'm sitting thinking about, okay, well, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that, and she asks, when is it? I didn't think of that. I'm an engineer. I'm really bad with words. I'm really bad with conveying like non-technical messages like that. So she helps me out with a lot of like making sure I'm saying the right thing, making sure I'm giving out the right information, making sure I have it on time, make sure it's, our Instagram is for the Deadlifts Before Christmas is what it needs to be.
Well, reviewing the form is making sure all the information's down. It's like we need people's emails. I think you almost put out the form without the time slots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was like, when are people going to lift? It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like I have all of these things run smoothly because of her. I can have all the grand ideas, I can have all the pie in the sky ideas, but it does not happen without her help. It doesn't. Deadlifts Before Christmas is not as successful as it is without her help. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Like the ornaments, I'm pretty sure was your idea.
Yeah.
Like the concept of them, and then she designs them. She makes sure that this is something worth going to.
Well, I felt like people needed something to work towards. Like, it's nice to raise money and everything, but it's also really fun to have, like, a physical thing to take home.
Having that extra incentive does help.
Even if it's just a little ornament. People are like, hell yeah, I want that ornament.
That's something I wouldn't have thought of.
I think like just having that physical thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, we all like to do stuff for charity, but if you get a little trinket to go with
You
it,
get a sticker, I voted, and then you get to post that. It's like
Yeah.
you get just a little something.
Yeah. And now every year they get to put that ornament back on. I'm like, damn, I did a good job.
Yeah.
so that's pretty cool.
Raphael has a whole section of his tree.
He's got,
Is that 4 years now?
We didn't have him the first year.
no,
Oh, okay.
So he has 2.
he's got 4.
He's
Because
Well-
he's won most reps and most weight.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he does have 4 of them.
Yeah. That's why we cut most weight, because it seemed like it's always going to be the person who has the most reps is going to win most weight.
He
So.
has 2 different designs on his tree.
Yeah.
I'd be amazed if he didn't have another one. But I do want to see someone like give him a run for his money.
You want to see him dethroned?
Not even just like not just because like I want to see him dethroned, but because I don't like I want to see somebody push him. I want to see him do 500.
The competition is fun.
Yeah, it's definitely, like I said on the last podcast you were on,
Mm-hmm.
it was the hardest competition I've ever done.
And
It's always funny when he goes, 10 minutes have passed, and everybody's like, fuck, it's only been 10 minutes.
the collective groan. What?
Yeah.
Is just, and I even did it to myself this last year. So anybody who's like, why does he do this to us? Why doesn't he? I do this event every year too, and huffing and puffing, I still go up to the microphones. 10 minutes have gone by.
Yeah.
just go back to it.
Well, this year, I think it's going to be a fun event.
I do too.
Yeah.
I want to see more people join. I want to see, some more people who come in with all of the confidence in the world.
We do need to publish like a do's and don'ts.
Yes.
Like hey, don't drink a rain right before you do this. You're gonna throw up.
Do make sure that you're properly hydrated, not
Yeah.
overhydrated. 'Cause-
And not getting rhabdo.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Do know your limits.
Yes.
Do not push yourself to injury. Do lock out all of your deadlifts because that is actually safer than stopping halfway up.
Yeah, you're just putting so much pressure on your back.
Yeah. We can call our naughty and nice list.
There you go.
Naughty, drinking a rain.
There we
See what
go.
I mean?
Rhabdo.
Yeah, genius.
On camera, you saw exactly why I say she's like the backbone of these events. Like
It's just a marketing brain.
it's still. I would have just says do and don't. She comes up with the naughty and nice list. Gets this Christmas idea.
It's genius.
Little things like that. The one thing I'm gonna take credit for, like marketing wise, is my what's going to be yearly Christmas Carol.
Yeah, he did the night before Christmas last year.
Yeah, I remember
He
that.
wrote that whole thing.
I'm so proud of that. Well, I have another one this year, and we're actually going to write and produce next year's at this year's events.
Yeah. We're gonna do the 12 days of Christmas, but have it like, I don't know, 12.
The 12 days of deadlifts.
Yeah, 12 days of deadlifts, but have people say it to the camera after they're done. And so, like, somebody exhausted
Yeah,
being
yeah.
like, 5 golden rings.
And we'll paste it together so that we can post it for next year. I'm really excited
Yeah.
about next year's.
And he's gonna try to do for this year, oh, Lift Miss Tree.
Oh, lift mystery.
What does that entail?
Well, you know,
It's
Oh,
Christmas,
Christmas
Tree. The
Oh,
song,
okay,
Christmas
yeah.
Tree, yeah.
So I'm not gonna sing it. Nobody wants to hear that, but I'll read it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of the same way I did last year's.
You guys do a lot, and we appreciate it.
It's fun.
Well, it's for people to enjoy, right?
Yeah.
And come on, it's cheesy, it's fun. We love cheesy and fun. We
Yeah.
live for cheesy and fun.
Always keeps it interesting.
Yeah.
Well, any final thoughts?
Sign up.
Yeah. If you want
Just
to,
make sure to sign up.
we'd love to have you there. We want to have it I have not had this 100% full yet. One of these years,
Is it still open? Silent?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sign-ups
signups are open until the day before.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought for some reason I thought it was closed.
The T-shirt deadline is passed.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to
Oh, okay, that's what it was.
We're
Okay.
gonna order a few more to try to make sure as many T-shirts are out there as possible. Because I mean, really, who doesn't want one, right? Like, come on, they're awesome. But signups are live until I think it's December 7th. This year's the event, so we'll have you sign up until December 6th.
Yeah.
The more the merrier, pun intended. And yeah, I can't wait to see you guys there.
Follow our Instagram, Deadlifts Before Xmas. Definitely shout that out.
Yep. Again, something I wouldn't have thought to say.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on, guys.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thank you. It was a fun chat.
Thanks for having us.
Of course.